now that we've got our bone broth going, earlier we did a video showing how to start your bone broth, but now we've been cooking for about 24 hours. I'd recommend going 36 or 48, but for the sake of this video, I want to make sure that you see the end part of the bone broth preparation process. So you can see that this has been cooking for quite a while. Look at what's forming on the top. There's a nice lipid collagen layer, phosphorus layer from the bones, okay? That's been simmering for 24 hours. The longer you go, the better it gets. It gets nice and dark. I wouldn't go more than 48 hours, but that's the sweet spot for me, about 48 hours. But right now, we're gonna start to the final process. So, a couple of things you're gonna need here. Mason jars. Look, when you're storing hot liquids or when you're heating anything up, do not put them in plastics. Plastics will leach when you heat them, and they get into your body, and they can cause all kinds of birth defects or genetic disorders. They're bad stuff, and sooner than later, we're gonna realize it as a culture. So, we're gonna use glass and mason jars. I use these all the time, so I've had these for like 5 years. So you can keep using these. You're gonna need some kind of a pot with a handle, because we're gonna pour the liquid in here, it's gonna get warm. And you do need a fine mesh strainer. We're gonna pull those bones out. So real simple, we wanna put our strainer in our pot, just like that. We'll turn our crock pot off. Now, as you notice, I'm already wearing this. If I'm in the kitchen, this is over my shoulder. It helps that everything that you're gonna do always helps to wipe as a way to keep the heat around a vessel, right, as your pot mitt. So we're gonna come in, we're just gonna grab this handle, just like that. We're gonna bring it over to the sink. Now look, if you spill a little bit, that's okay. I probably will spill a little bit. So we're repositioned. I'm gonna throw it inside the strainer, okay? I wanna make sure that I'm pouring it inside, just to get all the big bone pieces out. So here we go. Now when you dump it, it's gonna shoot some steam up, so make sure you keep your face away from it. Back off for a second, let that steam go away. Here we go. So I'm gonna have to dump it a couple times. Back on my shoulder it goes. That's what comes out, right? Now look at how delicious this bone broth is. Look how rich it looks. That's just 24 hours. The longer you go, the darker brown it's gonna get. So I'm gonna put my jars in my sink here. Pick it up, and I'm just gonna pour them in. Again, probably gonna spill a little bit, but that's okay. We got plenty. All right, try to fill these up as much as you can because there's still some bone broth left over. I usually fill up about five of these when I do a round of bone broth. All right, now check it out. While it's still hot, go ahead and put the cap on here. This is called a hot seal. So if you're doing canning ever, you can actually heat your jars up, whatever you're canning, and then put the seal on them. And as it cools off, the air and the liquid is gonna contract and it's gonna make a seal by itself. So we just do that, pick it up. Remember, these are hot. So pick it up by the lid, spin it at the bottom with your towel. Lid, bottom towel. Just like that. So I have a little bit left over. Let's go ahead and do another round. Remember to use your hot mitt. Just gonna use this. This is gonna be for now. Looks like I'm gonna have some bone broth this morning. Fantastic. Now, as always, we get one more. So you can tell this makes quite a bit of bone broth, right? We just took some old bones that we've been saving for a week or so, salt, apple cider vinegar, and then we heated it up 24, 36 hours on high. Made us some stupendous bone broth. Look how much bone broth we have. And every day when you're breaking your fast, you should have about half of these. Put a little salt in there. It's very, very satisfying, very, very warm, full feeling that you get from bone broth, and it's fantastic for you. Very easy to do, right? But as always, guys, look, I know how it is to be in the kitchen. You have to clean up after yourself. So make sure that you do. When things are hot, things are easier to clean. So let's go ahead and just get rid of these bones. All right, I'm just gonna dump them in the trash. There we go. always towel over the shoulder, even when you're doing dishes. Let's get in here real quick. You know, dishes and cooking are a practice. The more you do it, the faster you're gonna get at it. So don't depend on your dishwasher. Just come in and clean up after yourself really quick. And then when you come in your kitchen, everything will be clean again. Now there we go. Enjoy the bone broth, drink it at the end of your fast, or if you're doing a long fast, 24 hours, 36 hours, this is a great way to get a little bit of something in your stomach without having any kind of insulin reaction. So do this.